Rachel Feinerman, and I'm a twin. My twin is Haley, and now that you know that, you will get us confused. It's like some psychological thing. Before you know we're related, it's fine. I'm Rachel, she's Haley, it's all good. But then, as soon as you know we're related, bam, I'm automatically Haley and she is automatically Rachel. But you know, it's okay because I've always wanted to switch identities because we're very fraternal. I mean, we could go all out. We could get wigs, the color of each other's hair. We could wear each other's clothes, which wouldn't be different because she wears my clothes already. And we would be able to know exactly what each other would say in certain situations because we have twin telepathy. Now, most people think we're being serious when we say we have twin telepathy. They don't realize we've known each other since we were born and ask us how we finish each other's sentences or say stuff at the exact same time. Instead of just saying that, we like to say it's twin telepathy. So, being a twin, you have special advantages. You have two identities, you have a real superpower, and you have an excuse to say words you never thought would come out of your mouth. Like, I should have eaten her in the womb. You know, most people think we're a lot alike, but I don't see how we're alike at all, starting with the way we run. You know, I have a special talent. It's my funny run, my waddle. I waddle like this. But then I add my head and shoulders, because if you're going to have a funny run, why not go all out? So I dunk my head under and round my shoulders like this, and you can't forget the smile. That is my special talent. No one else in the world, including Haley, can waddle like that. You know what else people can't do? Be brutally honest. Now, I must admit, I did used to shop at Justice. And there was always that one extremely overly friendly employee who wanted to be your best friend. They come up to you, and they're like, "Hey girl, I know exactly what you need. Oh, BRB, I'll go get that for you." And they walk away, and 4.5 seconds later, they come back with an outfit that is definitely not what you need. And they suggest you try it on. Now, that is the moment you can't be brutally honest, because even though you would like to say, "That is ugly," I'm a grown woman of 11 back then. And I can shop for my own clothes. That doesn't even look like something I would wear to kindergarten. But you can't, because in our society today, you can't be brutally honest. That sounds like a messy situation. You know, I'm not very good with messy situations. In fact, sometimes I feel like I am like a hairbrush. No matter how many times I try to untangle a mess, that mess just gets worse. So I try to stay out of messy situations, like my hairbrush tries to stay out of my messy hair in the morning. Talking about hair makes me think how I often have blonde moments, especially when it comes to cooking. I wanted to get some hot tea one time, but we didn't have instant hot water, so I go to put cold water in a cup and put it in the microwave. That is the moment I learned that you actually have to put water in the cup before you put the cup in the microwave. Yeah, I'm not very good with cooking. And neither are my parents. You know, if your parents are ever arguing and you don't know what to do, tell them they're acting like Congress, and that should shut them down. So, here's my mom. My mom cares for me much differently than most moms. We were at a fancy restaurant one time, and I was drinking some water, and I went down the wrong tube, so I started choking. It was quite loud, but that is besides the point, because most moms would make sure I was okay. But my mom just stares at me and says, "What's wrong with you?" At that moment, I knew she loved me very much. But my mom really does love me. In fact, she loves me like a hungry dancer loves food. And then there's my dad. My dad's idea of driving is much different than my idea of driving. My dad is convinced that I can get places in a car without putting my foot on the gas pedal. But I think I can get places without ever taking my foot off of the gas pedal. My dad claims that he now has 4 less hairs because of my driving, and if you have ever seen my dad, that is a lot. My dad also claims that he got a 4.0 in high school. 1.0 freshman year, 1.0 sophomore year, and 1.0 But you know, sometimes I wonder what life is coming to when my dad represents dance moms when talking about my future. But he was talking about the future, so let's talk about the past. Recently, Dennis Rodman, a famous basketball player and idiot, the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. And Rodman said that Kim and Obama have a lot in common because they like basketball. Now let's think about this for a moment. We trusted Rodman to entertain us with sports, not to improve world peace. I think we learned our lesson. Never put responsibility in a guy who bounces basketballs and wears baggy shorts for $1 million an hour. You know what we also can't trust? Crosswalk buttons. Everyone, including me, thinks you have to press the crosswalk button 10,000 times before it actually understands what you're saying. So you're there pressing it over and over again. I could just picture the machine laughing at me. And then finally, when it turns to the walk signal, there I am, oiling across the street. And by now, the people in their cars on the streets know I'm crazy. But I do know a lot of other crazy people in my life. You know who's crazy in its own special way? Mr. Silvera. I am convinced that Silvera is God. First, his voice is so godlike. There's no other way to describe it. Second, he knows everything. That is not humanly possible, so there's only one explanation. He's God. Last, he doesn't write his own tests. He has a guy write them for him. That's not God. I don't know what it is. I'm Rachel.